All right, guys, any idea what this is? They're not peas.
No.
They're not green beans. I'll give you a hint. They go really well with a nice Chianti.
Those are one of the best products that nature gave to us.
That sounds like hyperbole, but it's not.
Fava beans. And for people who never tried fava beans, you don't know what you are missing.
Come to think of it, they're called fava beans, but I don't know if they're actually beans or if they're just legumes. Anyway, they're really, really good. That's the point.
There is a problem with this product. And the problem is that their season is very short, which means more or less about a month. And right now we are in the month of fava beans in Italy. So you need to have them all now or never, or next year.
That's why we're here to share some fava bean recipes with you guys. Now, real quick, depending on where you live, it can be tricky to find fresh fava beans like this, but don't worry, we'll get there. We've still got something for you to try. Even if you think you can't find these, we've got you covered. But the first recipe is one where we don't even need to leave these chairs, do we? The only thing we need is this.
Because one of the traditional way of eating fava beans in Italy is pairing raw and fresh fava beans with a slice of a good pecorino cheese.
Well, during the season, when they're in season, it's very common to just see a pile of them on like a table with some pecorino cheese, and everyone just sits around, sometimes for hours, and once you taste it, you'll understand why, just eating fava beans and pecorino cheese.
So the way in which you eat them is actually take them out of the pot.
Once you have an actual fava bean out of the pod, it's still in a sort of inner shell or skin, and you need to pop it out. So you kind of put it in your teeth and bite down just enough to kind of pop the skin open, and then you kind of squeeze it so you get the bean in your mouth, and then I like to do it at the same time. It's important. Then you pop a piece of pecorino cheese. I know, it's a difficult thing to explain on camera while you're doing it. You pop a piece of pecorino cheese in your mouth at the same time, and you chew them together, okay?
You made this appear more complicated than...
No, I know it's not complicated, but the timing is important here.
See, because you should chew together.
It's together, right? Part of the problem with this video is gonna be explaining to someone who's never had fava beans before, which I think a lot of people haven't, what the taste is like. They're very kind of hearty and substantial like beans, but they have a sort of bittersweet taste to them. So they have a little bit of the sweetness that you would get from like peas, but not nearly as sweet, but also kind of an earthy bitterness to them.
Yes, maybe it's between a peas and a cannellini bean.
Yeah, you really just kind of need to try them to understand.
Yeah.
I wanted to give a quick shout out to the kids who came to our door yesterday, who go door to door selling produce from their family's farm. And it's because of them that this video is here, because they stopped by our door with a wagon full of fava beans. And I was like, oh my gosh, we have fava beans, yes. Okay, I could sit here for hours just snacking on raw fava beans and pecorino cheese, but probably for the sake of these poor people's patience, we should maybe show them a good dish that they can make even if they can't find fresh fava beans.
This recipe doesn't use fresh fava beans, but use the dried fava beans that are very easy to find everywhere. You can go to a Mediterranean store, you can get them online, because it's a product that is shelf-stable, like the normal beans, the chickpeas, and they are pretty available everywhere. It's a very easy recipe, and we start with water. Now, we don't need a lot of water. Here I have 1.5 liters of water for 350 grams of dried fava beans. Because we are not going to drain our fava beans, we can't start with a lot of water. It's better if we start with this quantity, and then if we need, we can add more. What we need to do right now is bring this pot of water to boil with 3-4 bay leaves. Don't forget the salt. before you use the dried fava beans, it's very important that you wash them under running water. And now we just wait until they are completely cooked, and I mean for completely cooked, completely mashed.
Like dissolved, basically.
Dissolved. It can take about 1 hour, 1 hour and a half.
1 hour later.
As you can see, the fava beans are starting to dissolve completely, but we still have some big pieces. So what we need to do at this stage is actually adding more water.
Just because it's getting too thick?
Yes, so we can give time to the fava beans to keep cooking a little bit more. So the fava beans are pretty cooked. We can, first of all, remove the bay leaves. Our fava beans are cooked, but as you can see, they are still a little bit chunky. If you like the chunky version, you can keep them like that. Or, because I like them to be more creamy, more smooth, I'm going to blend them. But this is just a matter of taste. You don't need to actually do what I'm doing. But this is the right consistency. At this point, for you is maybe too thick. You can add a little bit of water. You have several choices. So you can eat them just with a little bit of olive oil. Then you can top them with olive oil and some toasted bread. Or one of the most traditional way in which in Italy we eat them is topping them with some chicory that you just saute with a little bit of olive oil, garlic, if you like spicy pepper, and then you put on top.
Okay, so this dish has actually made an appearance on the channel before, right?
Yes, when we were in
Matera. It's a video we made last Christmas, and it had been like a long day of exploring the city, and it was really cold, and I was hungry, and Ava was like, I want to take you to this place to try this dish. And then when I found out that what she wanted to introduce me to was like a fava bean soup, I was kind of like, come on, like, can we have like some pasta or something? But then I tried it.
For me, is one of my favorite dishes because I love fava beans and I love specifically fava beans with chicory.
Yeah, that combination's really good.
It's something that if you never had, you can't understand how good it is.
It is not a great dish for this time of year because now it's warming up and stuff. And so on a cold winter day in Matera, it was perfect. But that's like the seasonality of ingredients. It's like this is when you cook when you don't have fresh fava beans.
See, so when you have dried fava beans, this is what you do. When you have fresh fava beans, you've done something else.
It's also worth noting, Ava's made something very, very similar on the channel before called Macco di Fave.
Yes, because we have an Apulian version, we had a Sicilian version, we have a Calabrian version, but by the way, the basic is the same. It's dried fava beans cooked for a long time
and then pureed.
under water.
Yeah. But you can also make it like thicker, and you've even used it as like a sort of dip, almost like a
like
bean
hummus.
dip, sort of like hummus. Yeah, yeah, it's very versatile. All right, I'll shut up. We can eat this. Buon appetito. Okay, take back what I said because even on a hot spring day here, it's really, really good.
It's
so
hard
good.
to beat fava e cicoria.
It's so good. I don't think I even realized when I had it in that restaurant just how simple it is.
It's just boiled
It's just
fava beans.
Like, okay, there were 3 bay leaves. Like that's,
See, a little bit of olive oil, but it's just boiled fava beans.
It's so much better than it has any right to be. Again, it's hard to like describe what it tastes like if you've never had fava beans, because I think probably a lot of people out there have just never, ever had fava beans. It's hard to like describe.
Take a bean, a normal bean, and think 10 times better. I don't know, it's like it has its own taste.
Yeah.
Personally, in between old beans, they're my favorite one.
Well, now that we have quite literally finished the go-to recipe for using dry fava beans, I think maybe it's time to move on to the real deal.
Now we are going to use fresh fava beans. And this is a recipe that is traditional from the Sa. It's the way in which most of people here eat fava beans. It's a very easy recipe, but before we need to clean the fava beans, which means we need to open the pod and take the fava beans out of the pod. By the way, there are also several ways in which you can eat the fava bean pod. And one of the most delicious way is frying them.
You like batter them and fry them, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
When we cook the fresh fava beans, we don't need to remove this part, the skin, as we did before. We will cook all the bean with the skin on. Now that the fava beans are cleaned, we can cook them. And as I said before, this is a very easy recipe. As you can see, the ingredients are just 4, which means olive oil, onions, salt, and obviously fava beans. We start with some olive oil.
Plenty of olive oil. This is a Mama Rosa classic.
This is a
so.
Mama Rosa classic. Then we cut the onion. You don't need to be very precise here. Let's cut the onion. Medium heat. We need to saute the onion until they are translucent and soft. So after 2-3 minutes that the onion is cooking is the moment in which we can add the fava beans. We mix and we saute them for about other 3-4 minutes. We are going to add some salt. The last ingredient, if we can call it an ingredient, is the water. And we're going to add as much water as we can actually cover the fava beans, like that. And now we partially cover them and wait 30 minutes, 35 minutes until they are done. If we need it, we need to add extra water, but we are going to check on them. Our fresh fava beans are cooking, but they are not done yet because you can say from just looking at them with a little bit of experience that the skin is a little bit too tough. So we need to keep cooking them, which means that we will need a little bit of extra water that I'm going to add now.
So you're pretty much still just trying to keep them slightly covered?
Yes, so they can be all cooked in the same way. The best way to understand if the fava beans are cooked is to try them. So I'm going to take one. They are perfectly cooked.
And now we can eat them?
And now we can eat them.
Now, I don't want to say anything bad against your fave cicoria, and as excited as I was to eat that, and as delicious as it was, nothing can compare to the excitement I have right now.
Yes, because Harper discovered, since he tries the first time the fava beans, the fresh fava beans, that it happens to be one of his favorite food, new food.
It's just, this season, it's such a short season. Fava bean season is so short.
A month, maybe a month and a half.
And when Mama Rosa starts making this dish, I am just in heaven. I'm as excited now as I always am when this is in front of me, and as I always will be. Oh, it smells so good.
Now, I have to say one thing. We did the most simple,
Ah, yes.
and because this is the way in which we eat fava beans most of the weekdays.
Yeah.
There is just one way in which you can make this better, and is using the leftover pork meat for the big pot of boiling pork meat that usually we do during winter.
The propuna.
The propuna. You can use some of the skin that is left over, and you mix all together and you let them cook together.
If you have no idea what Ava's talking about, you should go watch this video. It's too complicated for us to go too in depth into what propuna is and all that stuff. But yes, theoretically, there is a way to make this better.
Okay, let's
right.
begin.
Buon appetito.
Buon appetito. So good.
The fava beans, which have, again, this kind of difficult to describe blend of like kind of bitterness and sweetness to them. But then you have the onion that gives that actual sweetness into the dish. It's an amazing, amazing pairing.
You can use this version also to season some pasta.
Oh,
Because you can cook the pasta, then add some fava beans with the liquid, mix all together and enjoy.
and you thought to wait until now to inform me about this?
Sì, Harper, because I can't tell you every single secret that we have.
More people should try fava beans.
One of the best things about the fava beans is that they are so good by themselves that you don't need to overcomplicate the recipe.
Yeah, everything today was like fava beans with just a little bit of pecorino cheese, fava beans with 3 bay leaves, fava beans with just a little bit of onion.
Sí.
Like you don't
need to overcomplicate, like
Yeah.
the beans. You don't need cream, you don't need cheese, you don't need maybe some meat, some pork meat. 10 out of 10. Today I'm very happy.
This is the first time our baby has eaten fava beans.
Sure, he likes it very well, likes a lot.
Since we're on the topic of ingredients or dishes we're sharing with ingredients that are maybe not so easy to find, in a video not too long ago, we shared a pastina dish, pastina con formaggino, which is like a kid's baby's pasta, but secretly very much enjoyed by adults.
Everyone.
And it requires this type of like soft cheese-based product called formaggino. And we asked folks like in the US, for instance, to see if Baby Bell cheese wedges would work. And according to pasta grammarian Liz, they work very well. So thank you for reporting back on that. We appreciate it.
So now we know that next time we will go with our baby to US. We can have all
Yeah.
the three of us
Yeah.
pastina with
We
formaggino.
don't have to bring the formaggino
No,
with
no,
us.
we
We'll just
can
get
have
some
that.
Baby Bell.
Thank you.
Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. If you enjoy what we do and you'd like to support the channel, consider checking us out on Patreon. You can also follow us on Instagram or Facebook at Pasta Grammar. All right, guys, we'll see you next time.
Ciao. Madonna, che buono. Troppo buono. Ma proprio buono. It came up very good. Proprio veniva perfetto. Buono, buono, buono. Stasera un altro piatto. Bello, miscialo. Dio che era buono, Harper. Maybe because it's a long time that I don't have. Buonissimo. Buonissimo, buonissimo. Allora.